doing this morning? Do we have audio? Yes, yes, yes. Great. Very good. Everybody's having a wonderful time this morning already in Apex land. This is Thursday, the 13th of August. We have about 2 more weeks to go here of the summer trading doldrums. And boy, this morning is a perfect example of the, oh my goodness, what is happening? The answer to that is not much. We have some news coming this morning, and it's the 8:30 news, so it's in 5 minutes. If you're in a trade now, um, be aware that in 5 minutes we've got retail news coming out, um, unemployment claims, import prices. 10 o'clock will be business inventories, and then at 10:30 is nat gas. And I know we've got a lot of interest in bonds at Apex now, so 1 o'clock, actually it's listed as 101, the 30-year bond auction is today, so there will definitely be some movement at about 101 and 15 seconds on bonds. So don't put on a bond trade and walk off and leave it during that time. Set some kind of an alarm on your computer to remind yourself that you might want to pay attention to that. This morning, the VIX started back down a little bit. The reason I'm paying so much attention to this VIX is because the indices are so overbought. And the general consensus is that there's going to be a correction in the indices, probably sooner rather than later, particularly with Feds talking about this interest rate hike. Of course, they do a lot of talking, if you notice. Talk, talk, talk. But there's not a lot of movement this morning. So we're about to have a fairly interesting next 12 months with all the various things happening in the global geopolitical scene and a U.S. presidential election. This will be we'll all learn a lot about trading, I'm sure. Anyway, this morning, overnight crude oil has not done a heck of a lot, which I wouldn't expect at this time of year. It is trying to get itself into the humor to take a northbound trend, and it hasn't quite managed to do that yet. Yesterday afternoon, we had at least the red apexes stopped forming, and it wouldn't surprise me if those came back a little later today. But I put the triangles on here because this is the first green E after we've had red ones, and it has a matching MVP, so that would be counted as number 1, E. The second one did not have a matching. It's got a red MVP, so it's going to get a triangle too. Doesn't mean you can't trade these. It just means that if you're trying to learn this system, you need to know where you are in crude oil, the town of crude oil in Apex land, in my world. So overnight, there's just, if you notice, see these little range channels and how skinny they are? They're just little itty-bitty skinny ones. That's why I like to have the time-based up here too, to give you an idea, because this, you don't know how long it took to form these candles, but it was a long time, a very long time. Each one of these is 60 minutes. So if we go and look at our 10-minute, we did have the MVP give us a downtrend. What was this? This is 5:40 yesterday afternoon, but this is not confirmed. Oh, wait a second. We did get a red. These are little, it's a little red one, but within 3, we did get those 2 red ones. So that is a valid one. But that was yesterday afternoon. The clock's ticked off a lot of minutes since then. So when we look at this, we have our industrial volume zones here, and they're nice big wide ones. I mean, you can't miss that. The market is we've got a problem with the deviations this morning, so we're waiting for the programmers to give us the okay on that. But we notice that crude oil went right from this green ice line. It's gone down to the red ice line. This is a tight band. This would give us a clue, at least, to expect some pretty tight movement within the ranges today. There's no news to speak of coming out on crude oil. So this is something. Just be careful. Pay attention to how close we are down to this this low of the last. I just go back 5 years, but the news is telling us 6 years. At 42.85, if crude oil closes below that this week, which it might do, we may be in for some more downturn. So we'll see how this responds. Pay attention to entries. This was a great entry this morning, but you had to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, which excluded me, by the way. So we'll see what happens. If you are looking to take this long, my recommendation is that you get some very clear and present indication that this bus is going to turn northbound. And right now this is 1 hour, 2.5 hours, and it's still going down. So be careful about taking a long position in crude oil. So I'll see you at 12 noon, and we'll go over the morning trades, if any. And happy trading. Talk to you then.